Hanson Community School in Andover is Britain's first rights-respecting school according to UNICEF's award scheme. As a result of what they learned in both humanities and PSHE lessons, many of the students were outraged at the global injustices that unfair trade reveals. The school's Year 11 students have decided to set up a fair trade group to try to guide the school towards gaining fair trade status. Elected from their ranks were 17 members of Year 11. This film follows the day they set up for their peers, where they were introduced to fair trade and encouraged to become active in fighting global injustice.
Buying fair trade, it seems like cool.
Absolutely spot on. And that's one of the things this afternoon when we get to the bit that we want you to do, of coming up with ideas of spreading the word and getting this, remember, because today it's just Year 11 getting this day. What do the kids lie down at school now?
The morning began with lessons led by 8 teachers for the 200 students in the year group. The nature of fair trade was examined using a case study of a cocoa grower in Belize. We also followed his story to find out how the setting up of cooperatives had led to fair trade with UK chocolate companies.
So, thanks to old Justino Peck. Justino Peck, one bloke out there years ago, we now have this fair trade thing. It means that farmers, and this is what fair trade actually means, farmers are guaranteed a set price for whatever they produce. When the price in the international market goes down, so this is the actual price that everybody else is getting paid. When the price goes down, that's what the farmers used to get paid. But with fair trade, they guarantee a steady price. So even if the international price goes down, they will still pay them that steady price. But if the price goes up slightly above the line, they get the extra as well.
Then followed a stimulus film made by the BBC, tracking the progress of the sale of gems in Africa and their eventual sale in Britain. This brought the emotions of unfair trade and the realities of life in the majority world home to many students.
No machines to get them here. Instead, 120 locals have spent 3 months digging this open cast mine by hand to access the sapphire-rich gravel 20 metres below.
It's a green sapphire, is it?
Wow.
The money is split between 6 people.
So they get paid 70p a day to spend 4 hours in a small, like 8 hours in those, like risking their lives.
Sell to a private customer.
Yeah.
Let's say 500 euros, meaning 400 pounds, something like that.
Well, I got really angry at the fact that these miners are getting paid pennies for things that are getting sold as hundreds of pounds, and how, because they're so desperate to get this money, they're being manipulated into thinking that what they're doing, they're getting the right amount of pay and all this.
I thought the film, it was really upsetting to watch what was happening, how they're being treated in such poor and dangerous conditions, like the amount of work they had to do, and losing their family and not being able to see them, and at the end of it they're actually getting no money out of it and not being able to go home to see their families to get money to give to them.
Do you reckon there's anything you can do about it?
Yeah, they could form a group together, like all the miners, and then start cutting up all the diamonds themselves and make a profit that way.
What do you mean, doing all the processing?
Yeah, and that's how they can make the profit.
That's a really good idea. How would that help then?
Because they'd be getting the money instead of the people that cut them.
The third session of the day was led in each class by 2 members of the student fair trade group. Firstly, they presented a role play about the banana trade. Students negotiated the value of a 30p banana and how it should be shared between growers, cooperatives, shippers, retailers and wholesalers. The arguments got quite heated.
Yeah, I think I should get more than those 2 because I help with development.
Yeah,
3 or 2.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't get much because he doesn't do much. The whole thing.
The feedback session allowed students to present what they felt was a fair distribution of the profits from the sale of bananas, and then it was revealed what the real situation was. Following this, the student group introduced a second activity, and in this case, students were asked to examine and try to understand some of the terms of trade that lead to the unfair trade situation worldwide.
There are limits on the amount of any particular product that one country is permitted to export into another, thus limiting
Good. Description of process.
MEDCs wish to protect their own manufacturers, and so they place quotas on foreign imports, even though these imports are often far cheaper than goods made in MEDCs.
Okay.
In a very well thought out activity, all the students learned the intricacies of primary products, the place of cash crops in trade, how quotas work, subsidisation, tariffs, and the role of both colonialism and multinational companies. In a final session of the day, having shared all their thoughts about fair trade and its injustice, the student members of the fair trade group challenged their peers to campaign on behalf of fair trade to allow us to reach fair trade status as a school. During this, students were asked to come up with ideas about how we might alter our practices within the school and how we might usefully spread the word beyond the school gates.
We've ordered a new DVD to find out the amazing things that other schools have been doing, and we're trying to get ourselves into a new DVD with everything.
So if you just want to have a quick skim read through all of this, see what it's all about. These are just people from other schools that have enrolled into the Fairtrade community.
Ideas were creative, imaginative and sometimes off the wall, but in the end this is about students taking action under their own initiative. Ideas were bold and imaginative, and some people were clearly prepared even to sacrifice their own dignity.
Right, and we'll give you a fair price. You don't know. Buxton, UK 10. I'll take you to the fair trade shop. You buy fair trade crops. Go ahead, people don't use stock. You buy from the fair trade shop. Whoa!
One of the suggestions was to make a lot more of our existing link with the Bonsai Presby Junior High School in Ghana. We know that Bonsai, like many other villages in West Africa, suffers with unfair trade issues, as one of their primary products is cocoa. In his trip to us last July, our link teacher Ben Answer was clear to point out the hardships of life in Ghana and how often they're derived from very low prices obtained for what the Ghanaian farmers themselves are able to produce. Other ideas are to